Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I am Father George Ehusani, and I have with me in the studio today a very special person, Fatima Sanusi Karaye. Fatima, you're welcome.
Thank you, Father.
Fatima Karaye is a person living with disability. As you can see, she's sitting on a wheelchair, but she has not allowed her disability to stop her. She's a journalist, she's a reporter. She, for 13 years, reporter with Kano NTA.
The National Television Authority.
National Television Authority, and you are based in Kano.
Yeah.
And you reported all kinds of events around the state.
I report all kinds of events, especially human angle stories where it changed government policies, changed lives, and sometimes my reports will become national topics of discussion.
So a number of occasions you had your local stories come up on NTA network, right?
Yes.
Good.
Most of my stories come up on national.
And a few years ago you won the NTA Person of the Year award.
Just last year I won the Best Reporter of the Year.
The Best Reporter of the Year.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So the fact that you are a person living with disability did not stop you achieving your objectives as a...
Well, if anything, living on a wheelchair has made me even more stronger and determined, because what I come to understand, especially in Nigeria, if I want people to know me and recognize what I do, I have to work harder than what I should be doing. So I have to prove myself. So
ordinarily, when people see you on wheelchair, it's that wow, the effort. I mean, I have constantly since you joined us said, wow, the effort that has to be put into your doing what I would normally just get up and do. So I appreciate the fact that definitely you need to work harder in order to do what other people do normally.
Yes.
And we all need to appreciate that. I mean, the society needs to appreciate the work that people living with any form of disability, especially physical, have to put in. Now, what has been your experience living in Nigeria with disability? Because I know you have an experience in the UK, right?
Yeah, I do.
And you know the provisions that the Western society has made for people living with disabilities. You have in a bus, you have the special seats, the first few seats in a bus is for people living. Technology has provided for you to drive and go around without any problems.
Yeah, there was a time in the UK I went to a building and there was no provision for me to enter that building. And the manager came down and asked me if I want to report, if I want to take this up for not being able to enter that building.
Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't say anything because I know where I live in. I live in Nigeria.
You know that at your home there's next to nothing.
Yes, there's
so
nothing
for
there.
you to go and now take them to task in England where they have made so much progress.
Yes.
Yeah, but talking about that, I mean, in 2019, was it January, an act passed through, was signed by the president, right?
Yes.
The Disability Act. And it provides for a number of things, including public institutions employing 5%, making provision for 5% for people living with disabilities.
And then all public buildings should be made accessible to people who living with
accessible.
But I don't think there's anything. Anyway, maybe something is coming up. I don't know yet, because even in BUK, when I went to BUK, filling the form, they asked whether you have any form of disability, which I said yes, I'm living on a wheelchair, but they gave me a class upstairs.
They gave you a class upstairs?
Yes.
How did they expect you to be going to class?
Exactly. Then I went to the dean and I said, you asked me a question whether I am living with any kind of disability. I said, yes, I'm on a wheelchair. And you gave me a class upstairs. So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So I was lucky. It was my colleagues gathered together and they refused to go to class because of me. They stood, all of them stood outside.
Until they changed the class.
Yes, so they changed my class for me.
That's affirmative action.
Yes, it was.
So your classmates did affirmative action on your behalf.
Yes, they did. And I think something is coming up We are pushing the act so that the government will adopt it. I don't know what is going to happen.
What do you mean by government adopt it?
Because
has the president not acceded to it?
Yeah, he has, but nothing has been done.
Like gazetting?
Yes.
Okay.
Implementation.
Before implementation, there's something they call gazetting.
Gazetting, okay.
So once the president has signed, all right, but I think it needs to be gazetted, and it is in the process when they gazette that it goes to every department or agency of government to make sure that this now becomes operational.
Yeah.
Before the gazetting, I don't know. I'm not familiar with these processes. Before the gazetting, I don't know whether so you can have a law. It's already been signed, but if it is not gazetted, it means it has not been domesticated as it were.
Yes, it has not been domesticated. That is the word. It has not been domesticated.
Yeah. But I hope that happens soon. The advocacy groups, the various advocacy groups, and they are becoming many that are advocating for people living with disabilities. I think they are the ones that really take this in up.
Yes,
and the Ministry of Humanitarian Services.
I don't think that is doing anything. It's there's an secretariat for the disabled that was being established. I think they are the ones that are trying to.
Yeah, and I think that secretariat is under the Ministry of Humanitarian Services.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's under the Ministry of Humanitarian Services. There are departments in that ministry, agencies with that.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Now, what has life been living in Kano, and then of course you do visit Abuja and other places? What has life been generally? I know our society can do a lot better. There's so much room for us to improve. But what has life been under our circumstances? Living with, living on a wheelchair.
Living on a wheelchair. Well, like I told you, I don't allow living on a wheelchair to define who I am. I don't see it as an obstacle. I see it as a challenge for me to grow. Yeah, it is like an avenue for me to grow, to be even better than what I am.
Okay, an avenue to grow. You know, the Chinese translate the English word crisis to dangerous opportunity.
Okay.
So you can see a crisis as danger, but also you can see it as opportunity. So you decided to focus more
on the opportunity.
And they also say that you see what you focus on.
Exactly.
In life.
Yes, exactly.
You see what you focus on.
Exactly. When you focus on something that you really want to achieve, you don't see any obstacle around you.
Yeah.
You are aiming to your destination.
So if you focus on what you want to achieve, you focus on the fact that I want to, you read political science, right?
Yes.
I want to graduate in political science.
Yes, and I did.
And you went to school and you focused on that and it happened.
Yeah.
You became a journalist and you say, I want to be the best journalist.
Yes, and I did. On a wheelchair.
Yes.
They used to call me the lady on her heels, but I am on the wheelchair.
On her heels.
Yes, the lady on her heels, because I'm always everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm telling people stories because I want to change lives. Because growing up in Nigeria, human rights is not something that is being talked about. So it is really difficult for me to see how some people are being violated growing up. And then people will talk about it, then everybody will keep quiet later on. And I will wonder, what will happen to them? Why is it that nobody is talking on their behalf?
So your humanitarian engagement in your reportage is following some of these stories, right?
Yes. So I follow such stories so that I will be able to tell their stories. I will be their voices to the world.
Can you give us an example? You don't have to call names, but can you give us an example of one of those stories that caught your fancy and you decided to work on and follow up? Yeah,
there's a girl that sells. Her mother left her father's house, so the stepmother was maltreating her. She stopped her from going to school. She will send her hawking. And there was a day the girl came back with deficit in the cells, and the woman smashed her head against the wall, and the girl was injured. And I felt, we shouldn't keep quiet. We should tell her stories so that the world will know. And an NGO took over, and I think the woman was taken to court for that. I follow such stories.
Because it is such things that can be deterrent for
Yes.
others, so that others don't maltreat. In this country, the category of unfortunate young people that end up as nannies. Okay, this was not even a nanny, just an orphan,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But a number of young people in this country that become nannies, what they go through is incredible. A number of them. I mean, there are people who treat their nannies well, but I think the majority of cases.
But I don't fault the people that maltreat them, though they are not doing right for maltreating them. I blame their parents for allowing them to, for giving their children out.
The level of poverty, the level of destitution in our society is such that many people, when people come from the city that they want this girl, this child, many parents often think that life will be better for their children.
Well, some know, but because some know that it's the money that they are after. They are not after. How can you give out a child of 9 years or 10 years out to somebody?
But how much do they pay nannies after all? There are Nigerian homes where they don't pay anything. It's almost like, well, you are here, you are eating, and so on. So forth. There are those nannies in those days. Pick them from the village. They don't really pay them. In the modern times, with agencies, now they have agents. That's with those agencies, okay, they pay, and then the agencies take their cut. At the end of the day, what ends up with the nanny is miserable.
What ends up with the parents? Because the nanny will not even see anything. Because there's a girl that I know about. I asked my friend, why did you bring this girl here? She told me that an agent brought her to her, and that she doesn't pay the girl the money. She pays to the agent, and the agent will now send some of the money to the parents. I said, so what is she doing here? Can you put her in school? And the woman eventually put the girl in school. Now she is in school.
Thank God. And some of those young people, they do very well in school.
They do.
Because they end up in a class and they are older than the other children in class. So those of them that are reasonable, they do very well.
Yes, exactly.
Now, back to yourself and your engagements. Now, after 13 years at NTA, you ended up at Terra Leadership Foundation as a staff.
Yes.
Tell us about the project you are working on.
We are working on a very interesting project because of what is happening in Nigeria now, and there should be a voice. There should be a voice that represents everybody talking about what is happening. Enough is enough. We should talk. We should say what is going on that we don't agree.
So the discussion about dialogue.
Yes.
The need to talk and let somebody listen to us and vice versa.
Yes. We need to talk. Let somebody listen, and then they will talk so that we will understand each other more. We focus on diversity because Nigeria is so diverse, and we want people to understand the richness of diversity. Just agreeing with somebody that is not like you, that doesn't mean you are like that person. And just because somebody is not like you, that doesn't make him wrong. So when you accept and agree with that person, then the world will be a better place.
Actually, you say agree. You don't need to agree to accept somebody.
Yeah, but I will agree. You are a Christian. You are not my tribe.
Yes.
But I agree with what you do.
Oh, that's what you mean by agree. I'm even saying so that people know that they have a right to disagree, but to disagree with somebody respectfully.
Yes.
So, of course, you cannot but agree with somebody's tribe and religion in the sense that
no, I agree with the kind of work you do.
Yes.
Yeah, just because me and you, we don't share the same.
Okay, some people call it accept instead of agree.
All right.
To say that you are Fulani by tribe, I accept. Respect you for who you are. You are Muslim and I accept. So, and that basic respect for human beings is absolutely absolutely necessary if you are going to live together.
And if you even want to understand that person,
you have to first accept.
Yes, you have to first accept. Then you will know the kind of problem he has. Probably you have the same problems.
So you are working on this network and advocacy
group, yeah, and I am enjoying working here because my colleagues are diverse. We are from different areas and we work together. Though sometimes we will sit and be arguing on some issues.
Have you people fought yourselves in the group?
No,
not yet.
No, not yet. But because we accept each other. Mm-hmm. I will listen to your opinion and I will tell you what I feel about your opinion. We are so honest with each other.
The Network and Advocacy Secretariat, which you belong to,
yes.
A secretariat of 6 people,
yes,
to promote dialogue, which Terra set up. Now, quite interesting, because when we were setting it, we wanted a mini Nigeria in the secretariat.
Yes, which we...
So tell our viewers what you have.
Which we were able to achieve. We have 3 Christians, 3 Muslims.
Yes.
3 men, 3 women.
Yes.
And we have
3 Northerners.
3 Northerners and 3 Southerners.
Yes.
And we are living in harmony.
Peacefully.
And we enjoy working together.
For how many months now?
Since January.
5 months now?
Yes,
and
5 months.
You have not fought yet?
No, we have not fought yet.
Sure, you're not going to fight soon?
No, I don't think. I even call one of them my sister, and she calls me sis.
Why didn't she pronounce it fully? Say sister. I mean, this is that is to say that I am one of those who believe that really the problem we're having, as I said in one of my videos recently, the problem we're having is not the people on the ground. Mm-hmm. Nigerians, we accept one another. We share household utensils. I mean,
yes.
go to any of these multiple occupancy kind of places, houses, and see how people share matches and salt and this
yes.
one tiny little bathroom that they are sharing, whether they are Ishekiri or
whatever, and they live peacefully.
But our leaders have mismanaged our diversity. That is the real issue. Our leaders have so mismanaged our diversity that right now we are sitting on a tipping point.
Yeah, we are sitting on pins and needles.
We are sitting on pins and needles. Now, Buhari is your brother.
Yeah.
If you see him, because Buhari's regime has actually appears to have worsened the situation. We have been sitting on, sharp stones and others. Now we are sitting on needles and pins because of alleged injustices,
yes.
and so on and so forth. So tell me, if you had the opportunity to sit down with the president of the country, President Muhammad Buhari, what will you tell him about
the present situation? Yeah, I will tell him to please stop.
Stop?
Yes, stop and see what is going on around you. Ask people that are honest to tell you what is really going on. That is if he doesn't know. And if he knows, he should allow for dialogue to happen so that he will be able to know what people feel, what people are feeling. People of Nigeria are crying. Nigeria is on its knees crying. It has never been this bad. So he should stop and ask if he doesn't know.
Well, one of the challenges we have now is that Buhari, we have a president that we are told that our president has a style, and that his style is that he doesn't talk to us. So we have people who talk on his behalf. If you meet some of those who talk on behalf of the president, what will you tell them?
I will tell him to tell the president the truth. To tell the president what is really happening. They should, if you are in a football game, you are in the field, you may not see what is happening. They should come out, step out, and look at the issues. What is happening? What is really happening? And they should be truthful to themselves. They should tell the truth. And they should know that tomorrow they are meeting their creator.
Aha. So one of the things you tell them is that tomorrow you meet your creator. Because
yes.
you see, when people, they say power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. When people are in power, they don't seem to remember that it will end.
Well, that is why I said they should stop everything. They should just stop all the noise around them.
And reflect.
Yes, and reflect. And see what is going on. And tell the president the truth of what is really happening.
In my Catholic faith, we have what we call annual retreat. A spiritual occasion. You withdraw from everything you are doing to go and reflect on your life and how, and your work and how, and your family and how things are going. We even have it for us, in the religious life and the priesthood. We even have things like recollection. So it's not the annual retreat is a full week or a full month for some people. Then we have recollection, whereby every month, one day, stop everything you are doing and recollect. As the word says, recollect. And then within the Catholic faith too, we have what is called general examen and particular examen. At the end of each day, to spend 10 minutes, for example, to ask what has happened in the course of the day. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? So as to make plans for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, exactly. So our leaders, those especially that will go and tell, like you said, our president doesn't talk, they should examine what is happening and see where did they go wrong and what can they do to better it. They should reflect.
One of the easiest things to be done under the present circumstances, a lot of people have been talking about it, is appointments. Appointments. Yes, that the president has a right to appoint whomever he wants to all these positions. But if the country is going into flames because people have the impression that there's nepotism and that you are not spreading this appointment round, then each time there's a vacancy, you still go ahead to appoint people from people. What will you tell him or his handlers specifically on this?
Like I told you, I will tell them to really see what is happening. Because if you don't agree with what is happening, if you don't see it yourself, even if I stay from now till tomorrow telling you that what you are doing is wrong, you will not see it, you will not agree with me. But when you start seeing it yourself, because you believe in your own lies, you believe in what you are doing, you believe that what you are doing is right. But when you start seeing what you are doing is wrong, then you will say, okay, probably I'm doing this wrong. I'm not doing it right. So I will try and correct it.
So chances are that when people lie to themselves, they believe their own lies.
Yes, and that is dangerous. When a person starts believing in his own lies. Yes, that is too dangerous because he will never see the truth. Because he thinks what he is doing is the right thing.
And the real challenge you have, we all have, Fatima, is how do you get the person who is lying to himself or herself to see the truth? You say one way is to say stop.
Yes.
And think and reflect. How else do you get the person who is lying to himself and is satisfied with his own lies, who is called self-delusion?
Well, then continuous talking about it, continuous discussions about it. Probably the person will come to terms. Yes.
Talking about continuous talking, I mean, you talk about dialogue, the need for us to keep dialoguing. Actually, in the last few weeks in this country, a lot of dialogue has been going on.
Right.
I mean, you belong to a project that is promoting dialogue.
Yes.
But then so many other agencies are up today promoting dialogue. In recent times, the National Assembly itself is saying, oh yeah, come, we are doing public hearing. And so, and in the wake of this National Assembly public hearings, all kinds of dialogue sessions have been going on, including the Terra dialogue sessions in various states.
Yes. And we're having one on the 8th.
Oh, you're having one on the 8th and 9th?
On the 8th and 9th, yes.
Of next month.
Yes.
What do you expect from these dialogues? A lot of these dialogues are coming from below.
Yes.
Not coming from the top. What do you expect from these dialogues?
Well, what we will expect is we want people to talk from their heart, no sentiments. We want people to talk from their heart, to say things as they are and what they expect, what they are expecting for Nigeria to be. That is what we are expecting. And we hope it's going to be a fair dialogue. There will be no drama.
Respectful dialogue.
Yes, respectful dialogue.
Mutual understanding of one another. And the areas we disagree, to do that disagreement respectfully.
Yes.
And then we now say, okay, we disagree in this area. Then we now count the areas we agree. But because my own suspicion is that we agree in many more areas.
Yes, than we disagree.
Yes. On that note, we'll be bringing this segment to an end. I've been speaking with a staff of Terra Leadership Foundation in the Network and Advocacy Group. She serves at the secretariat of that group. And she is Fatima Sanusi Karaye from Kano, who worked with NTA Kano for 13 years before she ended up at Terra, promoting dialogue.
Yes.
And we want to congratulate you once again. We started with the fact that Fatima is on a wheelchair, but that she says, ignore the wheelchair. I will achieve the best. I will do my work as best as possible. Defeating, as it were, how do they put it? Defeating the disability.
Yes.
And making the best of it. God bless you, and thank you for being on the
Thank
program.
you for having me, Father. Thank you.
Thank you.